everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Monday. It is the 6th of December, 2021. Freaking time is just absolutely blasting by. It is amazing. What is also amazing, that it's not even 5 o'clock. I think it's 5 o'clock. It might be 5 o'clock by now. But it is dark. Hate this time of year. Absolutely hate this time of year. Heather and I were standing outside yesterday. It was 5:30, and I said it feels like freaking midnight. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But what are you gonna do? That's part of it. So I just fed the fire. There is nothing, and I know I keep saying this, but there's nothing like wood heat. Absolutely nothing like wood heat. And you know, you just don't have to worry about it. You just feed that fire. As long as you take care of the fire takes care of you. It's just a very enjoyable thing, and it definitely keeps the house nice and toasty. I mean, we have windows open all the time, so excuse me. That's what happens with that. I am feeling better, slow and steady. Last few days I've definitely felt better, and things are breaking up finally in my chest, which is a good thing. So I figure within a couple more days I should be in pretty good shape. So anyway, I want to talk about in this video, guys, you know, I'm going to go back and we're going to, you know, and this is going to be a I told you so type of video. Not that I need to do an I told you so, it's just, so when I moved off grid here 7 years ago and set up my first solar system and said, you know, I'll never be hooked to the grid again. I will be independent, I'm going to be solo, and all those type of things. I had a lot of people, not, you know, some, well, there was a few that were mocking, well, you know, it doesn't really cost that much to be tied to the grid, and I don't mind, it's not that much, and it's the convenience of it, and yada, yada, yada. And this is before we started dealing with rolling blackouts in California and all those type of situations as well, obviously. The situations that happens over every single power outage that happens with storms and whatnot, you know, people are disconnected, and you're disconnected for whatever amount of time until they get the grid back up and going again. We won't talk about those, right? That's just one advantage of being that independent and having your own solar system and having your own power grid, is that you don't have to experience those type of events when they happen. So it makes a big difference, big difference. What people don't understand is energy independence with having your own system and having, you know, that option. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do wind, if you want to do solar, if you want to do hydro, if you have access to, you know, where you have running water constantly, that can make a huge difference. And so people, excuse me, they need to understand that. And, you know, it gives you a freedom that is just beyond anything that you can count on, just because you don't have to worry about it. Once you get your system set up and you've tweaked it and you figure out what works and what doesn't work, it's the difference is night and day, night and day. Whenever there's a power outage for everybody else, there's never a power outage for you. Beyond the fact that every month you don't get a bill. You look at right now, and I just was reading an article just a few minutes ago, and they were talking about energy cost in Europe going up 300%. I want you to think about that for a second, okay? 300%. So, you know, if you got your normal bill and it was 100 euros a month, and then you open up your next bill and it's 400 euros, you know, that's a huge increase, obviously, and you're probably not prepared to, you know, who's got the money set aside for that? I mean, people are generally, for the most part, going month to month as it is now. But to not get those bills every month is just, it's a huge thing. You know, and I know people that are grid tied, that have their solar systems and are grid tied and are hooked up to the system. Now, the difference between a grid tied system and an off grid system, right? Very simple, realistically. If you have a grid tied system, if the power goes out, your power also goes out, because they don't want your energy being back fed into the system. So when the system goes down, your system also goes down, even though you're on solar. Then on top of that, each month you still get a bill for line charges and taxes and those type of things every single month, no matter what. Even if you were making a surplus of power with your solar system, you're still going to get that bill every single month. All right? Excuse me. That's a problem. For me, that's a problem. I don't like that. I don't want that. I want that independence of never getting a bill. And since I have moved out here, I've never had a bill since. And, so each month, my system continues to pay for itself. Now, am I in the surplus yet? I don't know. I have no idea. And I really, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't care. What I do know is that each month I don't get a bill like everybody else gets a bill. I don't have to worry about them increasing my bill because they get a wild hair up their behind. Okay? There's no reason, there's nothing that they can do as far as that part of it. They can't touch me on that part of it because I'm independent. And so that is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And I will encourage all of you, if you can do that, to do that. Now let's say you're grid tied already. What my advice to you would be, if you want to continue to be grid tied and have, getting money back from them for having, feeding the power into the system, have a transfer switch and have your own battery bank so that when the power goes out, because it's going to, it's a matter of, whatever storm is coming or whatever's going to happen, have your own battery bank, have that transfer switch so that when that power goes out, you click over your transfer switch, now you're feeding your own power into your own battery bank, and you're still going to have power when everybody else doesn't. When the system comes back on, then you switch back over and you feed the system once again. That would be my advice to somebody that has a grid-tied system. I like being independent. I don't care how much power I ever produce. I will never be tied to the system. Don't want to be. Because they still own you in that aspect. Because they don't want you to have your own batteries. They don't want you to have that transfer switch. When these companies build these systems for people, and you're thinking you're going to be all this, I'm independent nonsense. You're not. You're still owned. They still own you. So, the beauty is my bill doesn't go up every month because I don't get a bill every month. I make my initial investment, and yes, it's not cheap. I'll be 100% honest. It's not cheap at all. But in the long run, it is worth it for so many reasons. You can basically dismiss all this talk about how energy prices are going to be outrageous this winter and how people are going to be paying through the nose and all these type of things. You don't have to worry about that because it doesn't affect you. When you have wood heat, as long as you have wood in your woodshed, you can keep your house warm. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about, and this is what I hear people say, okay? Well, I'll just keep the thermostat down lower and I'll have extra blankets and I'll wear sweaters and stuff like that. I don't want to have to do that when I'm sitting in my home. I don't want to be freezing while I'm sitting in my home. I want to be warm, especially in the middle of winter when it's cold outside anyway. So I don't think that I should have to sit on the couch with a sweater and a blanket on because it's so cold in the house because I have to keep it down so low because the energy costs are so much. That's not what it's about. It's about having this thing going, and it can have it as hot as I want in this house. If I want to walk around in a pair of underwear, I can walk around in a pair of underwear and be comfortable. So that's a freedom. That's a freedom that that people don't understand. They really, and I don't understand why people don't want that. Putting extra tape on your windows and all those type of things. There's a lot of things that you can do to help try to button things up, which of course is true, and it's a good thing. Keep your energy costs down that way. But if you have your own system, it don't matter. I'm gonna tell you a funny story really quickly, but now I'm gonna jump off of here. When I was younger, my grandfather used to walk around the house all the time, turning off all the lights. So we'd be in a room watching TV with the lights on. You'd come in and turn the lights off. What do you got stock in RG&E? You own shares in the power company, right? Well, now I go around and turn the lights on, because guess what? Don't matter. It's mine. It's my power. And I leave lights on, because who cares? Because there's not going to be a bill at the end of the month. That's the beauty of it. There's not going to be a bill at the end of the month, and I like that. So, anyway, real quickly, my sale with the Legacy freeze-dried food is still going on right now, so definitely take advantage of that. That will be ending on Sunday. Alright, if you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, you click on store, it'll drop down, you will see Legacy Foods. 25-year shelf life, GMO-free, gluten options are available, largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies. It's vegetarian, but beef and chicken options can be purchased separately. Definitely take advantage of that, okay? Again, when you check out, if you make a purchase, when you check out, 20% will come off automatically when you check out. So definitely take advantage of that as well. Alright, so just letting you know about that. So I am going to jump off of here for now. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race, and as soon as we can figure that out, we're going to be in much better shape. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching those goals is you. That's it. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. Alright? I hope everybody's having a great day. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.